The man peered through his telescope and spotted a figure across the canyon. Despite the distance, he could tell from her silhouette that she was a beautiful woman. He couldn't help but keep watching, but it seemed she had noticed someone spying on her. She suddenly stopped and turned around. Instinctively, the man ducked out of sight, remembering the warning he'd received when he first arrived. No matter what happens on the other side, never attempt to communicate. This was a watchtower perched on the edge of a canyon, and the man's job was to stand guard here. When he arrived, he realized the place was vast, but completely devoid of life. His post was equipped with advanced weapons, automatic turrets every 300 meters, satellite receivers every kilometer, and giant floating landmines suspended every 5 meters within the canyon. It was clear that this place was no ordinary outpost. During the handover, the previous guard had told him the job was simple. All he had to do was inspect the equipment daily. After a year, a new guard would take his place. The man was puzzled. When he was hired, his boss had emphasized the importance of this role, yet he had no idea where he even was. He'd been dropped into this canyon without explanation. Now, he couldn't understand the purpose of his work. Was there some secret here that outsiders weren't supposed to discover? The previous guard had only said one thing: don't let anything from inside the canyon escape. This left the man even more confused. What could possibly be in this canyon? The next day, the previous guard prepared to leave for his vacation. He walked a long distance to a flat area, lit a signal flare, and waited for his ride. Soon, a rope was dropped from a helicopter. The guard grabbed it and began to ascend. But just as he was about to board, a pistol was pointed at him. He was shot and fell into the canyon, his body disappearing into the abyss as the rope was cut. Now, the man began his duties as the new guard, patrolling the canyon and inspecting the equipment. As the previous guard had said, the job was straightforward. After some time, he reported his work to the military. Only the second time he'd heard a human voice since arriving. Curious about the nature of his work, he casually asked a question, but the call was abruptly ended without an answer. Determined to find out more, he turned his telescope toward the other side of the canyon. It seemed identical to his side, with one exception. The guard over there was a woman. She also appeared curious about his side. To his surprise, the woman reached out to him that night. Using her telescope, she held up a large sign with a message written on it. A creative solution, given the distance. Her first question was simple. "What's your name?" The man responded in kind, writing on his own sign, but he refused to answer. Thinking the conversation was over, he was surprised when she quickly wrote another message, revealing that it was her birthday. The man grabbed his sign again, wrote a response, and raised a glass of wine to wish her a happy birthday. This small gesture broke the ice between them. The woman began playing music and asked the man to show off a skill of his own. He boasted about his marksmanship. Just then, a strange noise echoed from the canyon. The man immediately grabbed his weapon and aimed it downward. Emerging from the shadows were creatures he had never seen before, converging from all directions.